have a framework for objections that you like to use?
It really depends, but I like, would you be against it? Would you be against it to explain to me why your price seems so high from your point of view? No one is against it. Explain me information. A lot of people will call you out for some reasons, but every time you put that question in a different way, like are you against it, you will find yourself with really good answers. Learned from my follow-ups a lot of mistakes that I did, like just general follow-ups don't work at all. They don't work. We make our follow-ups based on the information that we have. So I send them a demo account and be like, hey, I set up a demo account just for you. It is super special. It's a password. Everything is just made for you. And there are the reports in there that you were looking for that could enable your company within blah, blah, XYZ. I give you like a good reason to engage.
Do you think it is important to have SDR or BDR experience before becoming an account executive?
I think it's really terrible if you start as an AE straight away. I don't know why companies do that. Like, oh yeah, let's hire someone really cheap who never had experience basically in sales. He doesn't do any outbound. He doesn't know how to call people. He never learned it. So he needs to learn something from the scratch and gets, from my point of view as an AE, then overpaid for it because someone else should do that job.
Thank you so much for listening to the first ever English sales podcast for the German-speaking market. Before we continue, I want to make you a promise. I promise that with this show, I will do my utmost best to bring in the guests and share the stories that help you succeed in the DACH market. But I can only do so much. So, if you hit the subscribe button, I can get more guests, bigger stories, and better insights to help you succeed in your sales job. So, with no further ado, sit back, relax, and let the show begin. Django, what was your biggest aha moment after being promoted to an account executive?
I think one of the biggest aha moments is the first paycheck that you receive compared to the SDR paycheck that you normally receive. It's like, it takes a month until you receive it, but once it hits, you're like, oh yeah, nice. I make like, let's say 30% more, 40% more just by doing nothing more.
Yeah.
And that feels pretty great. But at the end of the line, of course, the next steps in life feel just great, just to be there, be able to close deals, be able to work with SDRs together now to give your knowledge to them. And further on, of course, help the business to grow, help yourself to grow, of course, and make some good money.
I think you touch upon money early on, which I like, because I feel like that's one of the first things that you think about as an SDR. You're like, sweet, I just need to, become an account executive. Now I'm going to. I also noticed that when I got promoted, I actually quadrupled, so times 4, my salary. Like my salary went up times 4 when I got promoted to an account executive. A part of me though thinks SDRs are literally the soldiers of the company. They're in the trenches. How do you feel like is the pay gap justified between an SDR and an account executive now that when you get promoted, you get like 30%, 40% more?
Yeah. So that's what you normally, I think, should get when you get promoted to an account executive or even more. And how I think about the pay difference there, I think what you mean is like, is it fair that they have like such a pay difference, or what is the question exactly about? That's what you mean, right?
Do you think it's fair, and how would you change it if you can?
I think it's fair, honestly. I was an SDR, super junior, and I started from the scratch as a working student. My salary as a working student was, I think, like 15,000 a year. Of course, you don't pay any tax at all, but it's not a lot of money. And then you move on to an SDR and you make like 2,200 net. I think it's pretty fair. If you get like commission on top on it and you make like 3 grand with commission, I think it's good salary for like a human being as also living in Munich. And further on, you can make more money, of course, if you earn more commission, you hit more meetings, and then it's like, I think, nicer. Then it's nicer. But to go to that difference to account executive and to that level, with that difference, I think it's fair. I like this 30% gap because I was in both shoes now, and I think AEs have a hard time by just having a first meeting. Yes, it's correct. The soldiers are terminating that in the first line, but in the second, third, fourth step, fifth step, maybe six or seven steps, especially with like corporates, it is so crucial to have like a certain skill set, and I think it's fair to be paid for a certain skill set because as an SDR you learn the first big step into the sales world, and then you move on. But if you can't make that first step, everything else is going to be impossible for you. That's what I believe in. So I don't believe in account executives who have never have been BDRs because they don't know how to, differentiate, kind of.
That would be actually my next question. Like, do you think it is important to have SDR or BDR experience before becoming an account executive?
Mhm.
And why? I mean, you already said you do think that, but why? Why is that? What do
Mhm.
you learn as an SDR?
I think I think it's really terrible if you start as an AE straight away. I don't know why companies do that. I think companies who do that are terribly off when they go off to like developing a new market like DACH. Be like, oh yeah, let's hire someone really cheap who never had experience basically in sales. Somehow, kind of some sales, maybe sold some insurances like inbound leads or whatever. Oh yeah, he's a good guy. And then you find yourself in a situation where he's the first or like maybe the fifth on the ground, whatever, and he doesn't do any outbound. He doesn't know how to call people. He doesn't know approach to someone on a venue or whatever. He doesn't
Mm,
know all that stuff, and it makes it so hard for you to tell him what to do because he doesn't know. He never learned it. So he needs to learn something from the scratch and gets, from my point of view as an AE, then overpaid for it because someone else should do that job who
mm.
has actually that skill set already to like build your own pipeline and then you make the next steps.
Yeah. You touch upon some very, very interesting and very strong points, and I feel like a lot of minds might go into two different versions here, two different sides. One
Mm-hmm.
is, oh, account executive, you like everyone wants to become an account executive right away. Like the account executives are the heroes, right? Like in the sales team, everyone is looking up to the account executives, and everyone wants to become an account executive, which takes away that novelty of learning, of growing as a seller, becoming a better seller. So I wonder, coming back to the money situation, usually you have a 10% increase when you get a promotion. Maybe companies should start take away the mentality of SDR is super low. SDRs are still earning
Mm-hmm.
good money compared to when I started out as well. Like, I also was like 17.
100%.
Yeah. Um, but taking away that massive gap and actually putting a gap in the middle, like actually having I know we talk about senior SDRs, but they get like 3 grand more in a year. But rather than having then 30 grand more when you get promoted to an account executive, just give 15K once you're a senior, because then you can work in enterprise. You still generate revenue. And then you get another 15%, which just evens it out and doesn't create that Olympus of account executives and the peasants
Mm-hmm.
of SDRs. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a really good take. So I think what I think about like about SDRs in general, like I think yes, companies are putting them into like a shelf what is like way too low for what they're actually like doing for the company. That's 100% true. I don't think the AE is like the hero of the story. My hero is my VDR, Adrian. I think he's doing the best job ever. And without him, I wouldn't be there where I am. So I need strong people in my team, and it doesn't matter if you're an SDR or whatever you are. But a lot of times you find yourself in a company where you don't find a lot of respect for your cold calling that you're doing because people don't kind of respect that. But I think it's the hardest you can do, like going out there, calling like 100 companies, getting shit talked like 20 times a day, and making like two yeses, and that's all your life, like these two yeses, and this is what you breathe from,
Mhm.
and people are trying to take oxygen away from you, kind of, and I don't
Mhm.
believe in it. I don't believe in it, like putting someone down as an SDR. I think there should be higher, as you are thinking. Yes, I agree.
I love what you said that like especially as an account executive, how grateful can you be if you have a great BDR or SDR? How grateful can you be? Um,
Hmm.
coming coming
100%.
towards the overall topic that I want to talk to you about, that is the demoing in like the product demo in DACH, being an account executive in DACH. I appreciate that's a massive topic and we could sit here for hours, which we might do. We might do, Django,
Yeah.
brace yourself. I think one question that I was thinking about while preparing for this podcast, and also knowing your masterclass, obviously, do you see any specific differences in demoing to DACH, so German-speaking prospects, in terms of culture or like language? Like, what are the key differences that you notice?
So for me, it's pretty hard to tell because I never sold really into APAC or Benelux as an account executive. I only worked there a little bit as an SDR. So obviously I'm not German. Of even if I work in Germany, I called some people in APAC, so India, like the region Asia, and it could have some success there as an SDR. Um, it wasn't too hard, to be honest. It wasn't too hard. I think at the end of the day, it is kind of connecting with the people in the right way, calling them up in maybe in a good or in a bad moment, it doesn't matter. But like a little bit understanding of the culture, like, oh yeah, Indians, they tend to really appreciate if you say how you're doing, for an example, or whatever. And some Germans do and some Germans don't. So we find ourselves in DACH again, like with people who are more interested into like a trustworthy relationship that you build within the next 6 to 12 months. But then you go ahead and find some Indian company. I don't want to say name. It was a big enterprise and it was so fast to close them for my account executive. I was just the first guy on the field, and it's different. It's different, but I don't have too much experience to like give you like a good answer to it. So I'm not the right one to answer that question in a good way.
What
Or
about the DACH
comparatively.
market? Like, what do you see in the DACH market that is working that you're like, okay, I feel like that is very specific in the DACH market? So for me, for instance, when I was selling to the DACH market, I knew there are emotional buyers and there, well, everywhere there are emotional buyers and there are rational buyers. But what I've noticed that even the emotional buyers, I need to touch the rationale in some way to make sure that the efficiency of it, the efficiency of the meeting, is front of mind, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
So how was it for you? Like, what are things that you notice that you feel like are very specific to the DACH market?
Trust, like 100%. Like Germans or like Swiss people, it takes some time until they open up. I met, like, if we talk about DACH, we can also talk about Switzerland. I met some people in Switzerland that they didn't even want to give me their name. So so Adrian, he did an amazing job. He outbound into Switzerland, and then he made a few meetings. We converted them, and we had our first meeting. And after that meeting, I was like, I will never sell into that account because she didn't even want to tell me her name. That less of a trust was there. She wasn't telling me her name, her company. I knew her company, I knew her name, but she didn't want to tell me. I was like, hey, I'm Django, and she was like, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was
Wow.
something really interesting. Yeah, I know. It doesn't happen too often, but when it happens, I find myself in a situation where I'm like, okay, I need to now like be agile in that
Yeah,
case because
yeah,
maybe she heard something bad about us, or she doesn't trust digitalization at all, or maybe
yeah.
some people are still against cloud solutions, and I don't know. Or maybe it's me, but I was there for like 5 seconds, so I don't think it was me. And yeah, it's built on trust. But regarding that case or other cases, I always find myself in like building some relationships. I can sell something small, like under 20,000 within 4 weeks, but when I want to sell something more expensive, let's say with more value, like 50,000, 100,000, like a proper project, like a bigger, more divisions included, then you need like more time to build up such a relationship to that particular stakeholders. I think it's everywhere like this, but I kind of have that feeling from my American sales friends that they tend to sell faster once they have a foot in the door. But when I have a foot in the door, I kind of need to shake a few hands before I get that sale.
Okay. And how do you do that? How do you build trust?
In that case or whatever, the people are just like, yeah, just talk and pitch me, and I'm like, okay, I will give it to you, man. I will
Okay.
pitch you now. I will give you now for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we'll ask you, are you ready to buy? No, just joking, but I'm just joking around a little bit to open them up, make some fun, and let's see, send them the information they needed. I don't follow up on them. I just like send them everything they want and ask them kindly, like, if you're really interested, you can come back to me. But 80% we are right with window shoppers, 20% we are not. So I'm not 100% sure about that. Once she comes back, it's good. Once she doesn't come back, she doesn't come back. So a few people came back, a few people didn't come back. And I think it's pretty hard for me as my age was 27 to tell what's right or wrong yet. But it works when you just have a good conversation with them and kind of be like empathic. I don't know the word right now. Empathetic. Yeah, something like this. With them, and yeah, I think that helps a lot. So being nice is crucial these days. I don't think it's a DACH thing. I think being nice or having a healthy relationship with the person on the other side of the table is crucial for any sales. If you don't have it, if the SDR doesn't have that kindness with that person, that nicey thing going on, then we're screwed in the sales process. He sets a meeting, but it's the worst meeting ever. Like it's not possible to open up that prospect. He even was 20 minutes late. He doesn't even care. So.
I'm surprised that you waited
kind
for
of
20 minutes. I probably I have the 15-minute rule. I understand even 15 minutes. 15 minutes is if you don't give a note, if you don't say, hey, I'm so sorry, meeting is running late, I'll come, then I'll wait for half an hour. It's fine. I get it. But then I might just have another half an hour if it was an hour. But I'm surprised that you waited. Or did they let you know that they're 20 minutes late?
I always call everyone after 5 minutes. So if someone is 5 minutes late, I'm like, hey man, you good? Did my link didn't work? So in that case, I never push it to the customer. I just call them up. I'll be like, hey man, is the link not working? And sometimes it is working and they're like, oh yeah, it's not working. And you just resend it and they show up and they're in a rush, kind of heavy breathing still because they were doing something else and kind of missed out, but it's fair. It's okay. We all miss something in life sometimes.
I love the idea with the link not working, because that's one thing that I've noticed as well. If you give the person, I guess it works in two ways, right?
Yeah.
So you can just say, hey, did you forget? And then they feel bad. And then they actually try to be nice to you because they feel bad. Or you actually say, oh, is the link not working? Which means you spare embarrassment.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So the same.
Nice, kind way. I feel like I'm not that kind. I'm like, dude, you're freaking late. I'm German as well. I have a watch. I'm not going to give you a free coffee. I'm going to give you a free watch.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one as well. Yeah, no, I try to be nice in the first meetings. Try to be nice because I can understand if someone as a big account is late for 2-3 minutes because of setup reasons, or got hold back from Django and he had 5 questions and couldn't let him go.
Yeah.
And that's okay for me. But I understand being late as a German, for us in our traditions, it's really hard. So that is the key point. Never be late with Germans in the DACH region. I'm never late, but most of my customers my leads are punctual. And I think they would be really, really mad at me if I would be late on a regular basis.
Yeah, of course. I also think there is a rule of 5 minutes. If you, especially working from home, 5 minutes fine. But 20 minutes is just a bit rude. You did say one thing. You did say one thing that I kind of want to reiterate on. You said that you don't even follow up. So that's an interesting one, because I also noticed in the DACH market, if you genuinely feel like they are not interested, the more you follow up, the more annoyed they get. Because it's a time, I explained to myself as it's inefficient. They get an email and they might even look at it and they're annoyed that they have spent 5 seconds of their life looking at an email that they said they don't want to receive. So don't push it. But
100% agree.
Do you not follow up at all, or do you put them on a list of, okay, cool, in 3 months, I just check in again because they forget you anyway?
Yeah, my market is so small that people don't forget me. That's a problem. So I have to be really smart about my outreach and about my follow up. And I learned from my follow ups a lot of mistakes that I did. Like just general follow ups don't work at all. They don't work. It's like, hey man, we want to talk about this XYZ, and we are used to talk about it, and you have that problem. He's like, shit, I don't care. I'm like, oh, how can I grab his attention, you know? And what works for me really well is when I have something where I really had a good conversation with someone, right? If I had a shitty conversation, there's not a lot of good reasons to put like effort, time into your soul when I can spend it with different people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to waste it on them. I just make sure that once we have that process aligned, we make our follow-ups based on the information that we have. So I send them a demo account and be like, hey, I set up a demo account just for you. It is super special. It's a password. Everything is just made for you, and there are the reports in there that you were looking for that could enable your company within blah blah XYZ blah. I give you like a good reason to engage. And sometimes I break up even a little bit too early, in the job market, where I'm like, hey man, I can feel that you don't have any interest at the moment in continuing the conversations. That's totally fine by me. We are looking also for people who are interested in working with us and not people who need to be pushed to the edge, right? So what I would suggest is let's get back together by the end of the year or next quarter. Whatever you suggest is right or never. Everything is fine by me and my company, and let's go on from there. But right now, this status quo that we both created, it's always a both. It doesn't work in that particular process right now because you're just holding me back, kind of. I don't write that. You kind of holding me back, but you're kind of holding me back right now, and that yeah. So it's not working out.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. What you mentioned in terms of like time invest almost. You have to disqualify as well. That was one of the aha moments that I had, for instance, when I became an account executive. It was what my account executives always said is like, oh, it's not worth it booking a meeting with them. And I'm like, but every lead can turn into a deal. Actually, it won't. Not every lead.
Yeah, that was me as well.
Exactly, and it's a waste of time for an SDR to stay on the phone or try and push for an like add them to your nurture cadence, etc. It's just too much. It's too much effort for someone who's just not qualified enough. So keeping like saving times. The other thing though, which I find quite interesting, is in your masterclass you mentioned a couple of strategies once you were in the demo. So to make sure that when you know that there is a deal, you know, okay, cool, we can really solve a problem here. You have a couple of strategies that I thought was super, super interesting. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, 100%. So I think it's really, really important to follow some process. I think there's not the right or the wrong process out there, but like some process needs to be, and you have your pre-conversations before that demo with the customer to really understand and to make the most of the time. You set like 1 hour demo with that customer, and at the beginning of the meeting, you set a goal for the both of you. For example, you be like, hey mate, obviously you're looking for some information and whatever, blah, 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 XYZ, and I'm looking for something as well. So what we need to do in that case if we hit that end goal, we set up right now a meeting and we make sure the next half an hour is just about you. It is just about you. The next half an hour, we're just going to concentrate on your problems, on your expectations around the solutions. And I will tell you after that half an hour if you're going to continue for half an hour, because maybe we don't have that what you want. And if so, we will continue that next half an hour into like a specific checking all the boxes that he just mentioned what he needs, because I will get like a clear picture from the first two conversations or from that conversation about the exact needs of what we need to go through in that demo. And I will not show him the newest feature of mine. Never do that, guys. Just show him what he kind of asked for and double check it. Because when you show him something, what he was looking for, and you don't double check it, you never get that, oh yeah, that works for us. Because maybe it works for him, but he doesn't like it. So you will get a yes, but oh yes, it's nice, but yeah, what do you don't like? I don't like the UI, to be honest. Oh, all right. Why do you like the UI? Because it's slow. All right, interesting. So you don't like the makeover, but you don't like it slow. My internet is slow today, maybe. That's maybe a good reason. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so we can have another demo when I have fast internet, and I can show you it's actually fast. But that's the problem right here. Okay, so you understand the problem in a way deeper way, because you didn't ask like, oh, is it right? Is it good or bad? And he says, yeah, but it's not the best UI. And you're like, oh yeah, we're working on it. And like, oh, stop it. You're not working on it, mate. You're not the tech guy. You're not. You just like just working around his objection right now to make him feel, oh yeah, that solution works for me, and we are looking for something right now like this. And so you check all the boxes with them. That is
Okay,
like
so
one strategy that I follow.
yeah, with objections, and I'll come back to the demo in a second, but because you mentioned objections, do you have a
Sure.
framework for objections that you like to use?
Um, it really depends, but I like would you be against it? I like would you be against it? I really like that when someone is like giving me an objection and the price is too high. Would you be against it to explain to me why you seem the price seems so high from your point of view? No one
Ah,
is against it to explain his situation. A lot of people will call you out for some reasons, but every time you put that question in a different way, like are you against it? Don't do it too often, of course, but do
yeah.
it sometimes, like a small sprinkle of salt, and you will find yourself with really good answers. I answered a question. I answered it Monday on a call from a guy who gave us a really good feedback overall, and he answered that question 10 minutes. And it
Ah.
was just like, are you against blah, blah, blah?
So if I say, I'm not sure if I have, I really don't like the UI. What, and then you would say, would you be against explaining to me why you don't like it?
Yeah, for an example, in that case, it's too weak. Like, I would use it in a stronger situation because it's pretty strong, I would say. In that
Yeah,
situation, I would be like, yeah, what did you find in that particular moment,
yeah,
or like maybe in the past, because I was maybe too fast. Where did you find yourself
yeah.
losing, losing the project or whatever, like kind of losing it? And he would explain it.
Can you explain to us when you used the would you be against it and they told you, then talked about 10 minutes, like what was the use case there? What was it?
So the use case was basically it's a Swiss company in that case, and we wanted to have like proper understanding of what's going on there. And this guy was not opening up super good, and I was like, okay, I need to kind of reframe that guy, and maybe let's see if I can get something out of him. Because I started my conversation as normal open questions, open ended, whatever. You have like kind of a frame as a seller, and it didn't work. And sometimes your charm doesn't work as a seller. Oh wow, it doesn't work every time. So you kind of need to be agile in that case. And I was like, oh yeah, would you be against it to explain me what went wrong over there? And that was his moment. He had the moment where he was actually like feeling trusted because we were talking for 5 minutes, and he was like, okay, good. I kind of can explain to that guy honestly what went wrong in that particular situation in that particular moment. And I was like, oh wow, that is amazing feedback, and we could solve it. That's the
Yeah.
best about it.
Do
There
you
was a
know why?
conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to finish it up. There was a conversation that was supposed to go like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because he wasn't amused that I called him up, but we spoke for like over 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. I think there is a fear of asking negative questions, but I think there just
Hmm.
needs to be an understanding of when to ask negative questions. Like, would you be
Exactly.
against isn't like it's a negative question, but it actually rewires them to a positive one because then they say, actually, no, no, why would I be against it? Of course, you know. And I love what you say,
Exactly.
like you become an ally as an account executive. As an SDR,
Hmm.
I don't want to say you're not an ally because you're still an ally, but as an SDR, you like open the doors, you find things out, you feel it, right? You're literally the door to then the person to come and enter and meet the ally, let's say. I might get a shitstorm afterwards because people say, "How dare you say that about SDRs?" I mean, I think we all know SDRs are solid heroes.
Let the shitstorm come on.
But like playing the ally as an account executive helped me so much to every time when there was the price is too high, whatever, and I'm like, well, I have to justify any reduction with my manager, so I'm like, I'm on your side. But for that, I need to get something so that I can justify it. So going in with a higher price, so you can go down in price, but still getting something to get down, which also gives them a feeling that they get a goodie, that they get a good deal, like playing the ally. And this is what you do with like trying to understand the actual problem, trying to understand the actual, like, what is the objection about? I think that's a beautiful, beautiful way of doing it. I'll try that. I'll definitely try that.
It's like a little bit of a cheat hack. Like that question, I think it's from Chris Voss. It's not for me. Of course, it's not for me. I just learned it from some guy out there, and it's Chris Voss in that particular case, and it's really nice. He has like a video how he explained it, where it connects in the brain, and what it does to you. Because when you hear that question, you're like, of course not. I'm not against something in my life. I'm open, and that's where you find yourself and be like, fuck. I kind of answered a question that I didn't want to answer, and there we go. We have a good conversation from now on.
If you, I'll have a look for that video. If you know where it is, send it to me so I can put it in the notes. If it's not in the notes, guys, just reach out to Django or to me, and we can get that to you right away. Just coming back to the demoing part, you mentioned specific strategies like the dream state and how you get them to the dream state, why it's important, etc., etc. Like talk us through there. Like how do you build that up?
Dream state. I think for that particular for dream state, you need like a first conversation with the customer to understand his needs, understand the whole environment, and then you have like kind of two states. We can call the left state like the current state or the shit state. How bold you are, you can go in with the presentation and call whatever you are. And then you can call it the dream state next to it. And in the shit state, some things are going on, what are currently happening. And that means marketing and sales are not aligned. Inbounds and outbounds are paid in the same way, for an example. And inbound and outbound strategies are treated in the same way. Like for example, like everything doesn't make sense because it's so controversial, kind of on the shit side, and that's basically what the status quo is right now. And then look at the dream side. It's your dream, right? And you have that printed out for him. So currently, you are here, my lovely customer, and you are looking forward. You told me in the next 3 months to be somewhere where our dreams at. So I put our dreams down to like 5 main bullets, and if we do some certain things, we can achieve your 5 dreams. Are you cool with achieving your dreams in 3 months, Helena?
Would you be against achieving your dream?
100%. You could do it. Now I learned something as well for myself for like putting dream state even better to the customer. But at the end of the day, it's just like differentiating and showing it to you. Because he knows how he feels every day, but he doesn't see it right now. So you need to visualize it in front of him. And you need to visualize the dream state in front of him. So he's like, oh yeah, that's where we're at right now. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's where we can be in 3 months. And it's kind of like an emotional roller coaster where you can take him to, right? You're like, oh yeah, you guys are shit, but you guys have a lot of potential, right? and this is where and you can go from like you can be there if you like where your dreams are right now, or you can stay there where you're at right now, where you want to be. It is no question that I need to raise in that moment. It's just like everybody's sitting there like, oh, I hate myself right now being here. Like it's a it's a shit state.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. No, sorry.
No, I interrupted.
I can talk forever.
I love it. I
No,
love
I
it.
can talk
I'm just
forever.
cracking up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just
Mhm.
standing there. I was like, please take over.
Yeah. No, you go on. You go on, please, please.
So you said a very good point with do you want to be here in like you can either stay here or you want to be here in 3 months. One thing that I very
Mhm.
much underestimated at the beginning of my sales career and also when I became an account executive was there are two variables that you want to tackle, and that is the most
Mhm.
effective way of selling. At least that's what
Yeah.
I've heard, and that's what I've found as well. That is loss and time. So how
Mhm.
fast can you lose, or would you lose or gain something? Um,
Mhm.
it's not only about gaining transparency so you can have real-time data and make real-time decisions. It's about how fast it gets you to make that amount of money or to gain that amount of time, or with a
Mhm.
shit state, how much will you lose in that time if you
Mhm.
don't do it? Because for some reason, psychologically, humans are
Mhm.
more prone to make decisions based on the fear of losing out. Like FOMO is a real thing. So fear of losing
Oh
out,
yeah.
of losing something. So
Mhm.
creating that dream state and saying, hey, in 3 months, you might lose this or you might gain this with
Mhm.
us. And that those two parallels like variables, they are
Mhm.
crucial. What do you think about that? Like, do you have other variables that I'm missing?
No, I think all of them are in there as long as you have the right stakeholders in front of you. If you have the wrong one in front of you, all your work is
Oh,
shit. Yeah,
yes, yes,
that's
amen.
the thing. Yeah, because if you have like a guy in front of you who just wants to dance in this, you know that
Yeah,
memes, right? Like who just like dance with you, and let's troll some time out of our lives, and I don't sell you anything, and you will never buy from me. Oh, I hate those stakeholders because there are a few out there who just want to dance with you and never want to buy.
yeah,
And I break off that dance before it even starts because I swang a lot of time with people who didn't want to swing with me actually, but I swang with them in the sales process and never had like a proper end goal. But I
yeah.
just did it because I was hoping someday he would buy. But sales is
Mhm.
not about hope. Hope belongs to bad times, and yeah, not in that case. Yeah.
Yeah. So in with that in mind, and I 100% agree, I feel like we all have wasted too much time on the wrong stakeholders.
Yeah.
How do you first? How do you get to the right stakeholders, and how do you identify actually they're just here to dance a little bit, and that's a waste of my time?
I'm okay. Let's go to the first question to how do I get to the biggest stakeholders. In the last accounts, I had the problem that I was talking to Django. He was just a guy, but I want to talk to Helena. She was the woman that I want to talk to, the CEO or whatever. And I had some information already, so I just called them through the central or maybe had a direct line to the CEO, whatever. And I was like, okay, I have two choices now. I can pitch her like regularly, or I can like put in some own juice, right? And
Mm.
my own juice in that way was it's always pretty similar. I'm like, hey man, I I'm talking to your company for quite some time, and we found some reasonable reasons to have like a proper conversations. I would never dare to call you with your time and your time management without like having like a proper understanding what's going on at the moment. So if you would give me 30 seconds of your time right now, I'll pitch you the idea. If you don't like it, I will not further on continue to call you or the other stakeholders in your company. And I had never say someone no. I had never it because they were so curious about like what the fuck I did with their coworkers because they're the boss and they want to know.
Yeah,
They want to know what's going on there. And then they hear the
yeah,
pitch and it's actually decent because it's based on their needs. Even though I was speaking to the wrong stakeholder beforehand, but this guy was just giving me the information that I was looking for. He was not the guy who was signing or influence the deal, but he was just like,
a
yeah,
chat.
the first
Yeah.
spark that I needed to like light the fire. I don't know.
I like that. So you cold call the stakeholder that you want to talk to after
Yeah.
talking to one of their employees or team members or whatever. That's a brilliant idea, Django. I feel like I have lost too many deals not knowing that.
Yeah,
Why
I
don't we just
I
have that
think it too.
conversation?
I had a conversation last week with a corporate account, and they're willing to buy like for middle five figures number. And it was such a crisp and short conversation where I was like, man, this is a thing. So what I'm just telling you is like really brand new for me as well, because that's where I tried it in a bigger account. I tried it in smaller accounts already and found myself really comfortable like pitching the idea. And I think the CEOs find that also really comfortable because I was not a guy cold calling them without any idea of what's going on. I cold called them based on what's going on. I had some pre-information, so that's how I treat like getting bigger stakeholders. I sometimes I even get information from the gatekeepers. That's so funny and ridiculous. They give you phone numbers, they give you information. I'm like, what are you using? How are you using it? Why are you using it? And they just give you like short informations about it, and I can just generalize it once I call the CEO. Okay, because your company is saying X, Y, and Z. Is that kind of similar from what you heard? And he's like, yeah. So you're like, okay, cool. Let's have a conversation.
I like that. I like that. So this is how you get to
Yeah.
the stakeholder, but how do you then identify, when it's actually just dancing? Because sometimes they're like, "Oh no, we'll close next. I'm so sorry, that the CEO is on holiday, so but he will sign next week." And then, "Oh, I'm so sorry." How do you identify it, and how do you prevent it?
You mean window shoppers?
I
Or
like the dancing, the people who are like, "I would love to buy it,
yeah.
but I shall never do it."
I identified them pretty early after my work with Adrian. We work on every account in DACH together, and we look into it, and he really explains me what's going on before I go into that conversation. So we always have a deeper conversation about the particular account that he is sending over to me, because it's really important for me to understand who's sitting in front of me before I meet him. And once I meet that person, I'm pretty good pre-briefed already, so I know that you are only like a dancer, and I will give you tougher questions than the others. It is just how it goes, because I will just ask you like two, three questions, and you're like, nah, I'm just here to window shop or whatever. I kind of bring you to the situation where you're like, I'm just a guy who's curious. I was like, and I can be like, I'm curious in a lot of things, but I don't waste your time just because I'm interested in your product. Like
Mm.
if you are generally interested and not like just like kind of window shopping, we can have like definitely like a deeper conversation about it. But right now it just sounds like you're talking to everyone with no end goal, with no budgets or whatever, right? Like nothing is there. There's nothing, and he's not even the right person to talk to. Sorry, but I can waste my time better. Like, I don't know. I would rather spend time with my dog, 100%, than just spending
Mm.
time in that meetings again in my life ever. Same as you, I think. When you
Mm.
find yourself in a conversation like this, you're like him.
Hmm. Yeah, I think like I mean that's a very obvious window shopper, right? Like that's a very obvious, oh, I just want to
Mm-hmm.
see what it go. Like I'm surprised that there's even a meeting in it. Just send documentations on
Yeah,
but sometimes there are those people who
yeah.
are so they want that and they want it to work. So but they are a champion and then it takes longer and longer and they're like, no, 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 we will sign, I promise. And you're already so much in. But one thing that I think is a very good solution there, and you said it just now, is tough questions. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions. Even a
Yeah.
question like, here's a thing, we've been, running up and down for weeks now. It sounds like this is just not really valid for you guys. And it's like, oh no, 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 it is, I promise. Like next week, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, next week is I can wait for that. But I'd say if it doesn't happen by then, let's just leave it there
Mm-hmm.
and talk in 3 months again. And I can, let's book in a meeting in 3 months to see if the CEO is there then. Just
Mm-hmm.
like having those tough conversations when a lot of people are worried about losing deals, when what you actually gain
Mm-hmm.
is time.
Yeah, 100%. And you gain time for someone who's generally interested in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it is so much nicer to sit in front of someone who's interested in a conversation with you and be like, oh yeah, why are you doing this like this and not like this? That is a such nicer conversation with them. Okay, cool. I have everything what I needed from you. Thank you. Bye. And you're like, dude, like,
Okay.
come on, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just like took off my clothes in front of you, and you're like, oh, come. You know, and he just leaves the room, and you're like, all
Yeah,
right,
it's
yeah,
just so
it's
sad.
what it is. Yeah, it's so
With,
sad. You know, okay, you don't want me, okay, I don't want you.
with that in mind, so now we have the preparation, we have the objection
Mhm.
handling, we have the demo, we have the identifying, okay, how do we get to the final meeting, like the final big closing, this is part of my forecast this month deal meeting, right? Um,
Okay,
with that in
it's so
mind,
easy.
and my question is DACH specific.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah,
feel like closing is easier in DACH if you speak the language?
I, s- I have a really good example for you. I would say
Nice, hit
no.
me.
Why? I have a friend who is from Vietnam, and he's smarter than me. He's one of the smartest guys I know. Why? Because he came to Germany. He was forced to it for his family. I don't know why, but he was forced to it to come to Germany with his mother and his family when he was 15. Didn't speak any German. He speaks German today, like 10 years later. He's like 26, 11 years later. And he doesn't speak perfect German until today. He has you can hear he's not from here. You can hear it straight away. He does like der, die, das, like the de. We have like three forms
Yeah.
of de. He does it even wrong. Like a lot of times he's like der Zeitung. Und haben Sie das schon in der Zeitung gesehen, Kunde? And the customer is like, he's having a good time with that guy. And
Mhm.
he's closing. His name is Anshu. If someone wants to reach out to that guy and get a good sales rep in the DACH region who doesn't even speak German and wants to teach your company how to do it, I think that's the guy you're looking for. Because he speaks not perfect German, he speaks like 80% German, and he does it. And I used to believe that people like him are going to fail. I used to believe 100% that people like this are going to fail because I believed in the German market to be really, really strict about you have to be really the cultural fit in speaking the language. But it is not the case. I think like having that backstory of yours being like, hey man, I'm here like for 2 years now and ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. People are appreciating that in Germany when you learn the language. I think French people, Spanish people, everyone does it. They appreciate it when they learn it. But kind of French people are angry when you learn it. I know. And Germans are really happy about it. You know, like they're really like, oh yeah, he's putting some effort into it. Yeah, I'm happy to listen. And
But
so he proved me wrong.
but that means that you do have to learn the language. So it's not about accent
Exactly, but
free.
not.
It's about do you feel like
Mhm,
someone has to speak the language rather than selling to them in
mhm.
English?
Exactly. So I think yes and no, but in his case, yein. And I know sellers like him who are living in Germany, and they're the example of ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch,
I
who are
speak a
living in
little bit English.
Berlin, and they're speaking. Yeah, exactly. And they're living in Berlin, and they don't. They have just like English customers, but I think to scale, yes, you need like this Anshu who speaks like not perfect German, but like German. Germans need to see that you put effort into it, and they see that you put effort into it when you put effort into yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
Germans appreciate that. I don't know. It's what I say. Like French people do appreciate it, not that much from what I learned and from what I heard, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't want other people to learn the language
Mm-hmm.
too much. From what I heard, I can be super wrong about it. But German's really, really nice.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting because I feel like as an account executive,
Mhm.
I do I yeah, I agree with the like the German. I 100% agree with the accent free. It doesn't exist. I mean, when I sell to
Mhm.
someone who is from Berlin, they will hear that
Mhm.
I'm not from Berlin because even within Germany we have dialects, right? Same with Switzerland, same with Austria, same with England, everywhere. There are specific dialects. So having someone who doesn't speak accent free German, but tries to it's not fitting in, it's honoring the other person. That's how it feels like.
100%.
Yeah, you honor me
100%.
because you're trying to adapt. And that is highly respected.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super,
and to
super.
like reframe that story a little bit, he was speaking at the start German English, and he became better and better in German over the years. He did his schools and whatever, but he was like Germish English kinda, and at some point he became more German, but still like some English words are in there, and I fully agree. There's
Yeah.
Germans are nice to it.
We already talked about the follow-up situation, and
Hmm.
that especially in Germany, if someone, or like, I want to say DACH, but I feel like it's more German. And here again, there are differences between Switzerland and Austria and DACH. And I have a couple of Swiss guests here and a couple of Austrian guests here who also talk about that as well. But with follow-up in Germany, if someone says, please do not get in touch again, then don't get in touch and just let them know that you get in touch in 3 to 6 months, whatever. I wouldn't let them go cold, but I would put a note in 3 months as a blocker of like, hey, by the way, just check in again, and let them know. What happens when you had the closing deal, like the closing meeting, and then they're like, sweet, looks good, I'm just gonna let it sign off from the CEO, and they went cold. How do you keep the momentum in DACH without going into that follow-up thing of just annoying them, and then they just don't want to sign just to piss you off because you pissed them off first?
Okay. I was never in that situation, to be honest. Like in that, like to give you an experience, I never had that problem yet because I always follow a line. But I also think like it depends on the segment you're working in. If you're working more pharmacy, manufacturing, retail, because it's also as a BDR, and I saw the problems there. But now I'm not. I'm the account executive for different regions or whatever, and yeah, tough to answer. Tough to answer in the right way. I think there's
I
no.
appreciate the honesty though, Django. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No.
think with that, one of the reasons why the momentum might not go where you wanted to go is because of regulations. Regulations in DACH are fun. I feel like my whole company was just terrified of DSGVO, GDPR in Germany is double opt-in, and you really do not want to piss them off because they will sue. So, how have you found the way past the regulations, and do you have any advice to actually make that maybe even your ally within the process to not lose the momentum?
Yeah, that is a DSGVO. It's a big thing in our company. Everything is DSGVO, 100%. There's not even Lucia or whatever in the place, not even sales like recordings of a meeting. There's nothing. So super strict about that. And the other question, sorry, can you like, kannst du es nochmal auf Deutsch vielleicht sagen? For me.
Ja, es ist, wie nutzt du das eventuell in deinem Deal, dass du dass du es am Ende doch closed, also dass es dich nicht, dass das der Momentum weiter bleibt.
Mit dem, wenn jemand nicht unterschrieben hat sofort.
Nee, wenn
Oder?
Regulationen reinkommen, wenn die sagen, oh, wir müssen da nochmal checken und wir müssen da nochmal checken und wir müssen da nochmal mit Legal checken.
Ah,
Genau, also wie stellst du dir das?
now I got it.
Ja, weiterkommt.
Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah, I just put like a little bit pressure on the price or whatever. Like by the end of the year, right now, people don't want to sign straight away. I have one guy who's making me wait super hard, and I was like, mate, you have time until the end of December. Once it's January, I will raise the price by like 15,000 euros. You know that, and they already booked something from us, and this is how I treat the situation. They have a certain time, and they signed with me a signing day, so then signed it. But like we had a meeting where we figured out a signing day for the 10th of December, and that day the contract is going to be either signed or you're going to pay 15,000 more, because I'm not going to take after that, because I tell them I'm going to be on holidays. I will not pick up your phone call. So December ends for me 21. I will pick up that phone call. But December ends for me on the 21st. And if you can't finish the contract while you have it like 1 month in front of you, you either need better glasses or we need a different time in life where we got together, and that's maybe called January, where the price hits like not 50, 65,000. And that's it. And I explained to them in such a nice way. I'm not really harsh about it. I'm like, I'm just a worker here. I'm not the head of sales. I'm not the CEO. I'm just a bee who's doing her like bee job. And once the king queen comes aside and says, hey, Django, 20% more. I will raise you 20% more because I have to, not because I want to.
Yeah, the ally side. Yeah, yeah. One way that I found is very effective as well. As soon as I know, okay, they are intrigued, and then I know they want to start by the end of this year. Then I like to
Okay.
say what we find is, especially the GDPR side of it, like legal really wants to make sure that everything is fine. How about I send you our MSA, I send you our data register, whatever, to while we go through the next steps, just to make sure that once you can, like once we're done, you can actually start in your timeline. Otherwise, I have seen it before, it is taking a long time. And then usually people are quite open to it because they want to stick to the timeline that we have already defined.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like,
So,
yeah, Django.
um, yeah, no, I wanted to say like, yo, I understand it right. So, all good.
I feel like every day there is a new software coming on as well. There's a new technology and AI powered, etc., etc. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not even sure if you're AI powered, a software, or literally just a Google form. It's just so flashy everywhere. What technologies, just to cut to the chase and just not waste time on trying to find the right one, what technologies of softwares do you use to make your day-to-day life as an account executive easier?
Okay. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I think it's crucial for just finding people in our branch or our region. We also use Thing. It's German. It's ZYNG, I think. Why we are using it? Because we find a lot of prospects also there. Not all of them, but like a lot of also. And we're like, okay, good. We need to make the most out of the platform. What I also like is tracking traffic on your website. I think there are a few out there who track in a phenomenal way, where you get like the IP address of someone, kinda, where he lives and who he is and how he breathes, like every 20 seconds. And it's so accurate once you hit the platform. It's so crazy, and I like that a lot as well.
Is that
But for
GDPR
research,
compliant, Django? Sorry to interrupt, but is that GDPR compliant?
yeah, this is actually that's a company from Netherlands. I can send it to you afterwards. I think it's how I called lead info or something like this. I don't know. They
Ah.
actually they actually do actually doing really nice, and it's GDPR compliant. I was really wondering why it is, but I don't make the rules. If it is, it is.
Yeah.
And um, what is not GDPR compliant? The dark tools are like Lucia. I don't use it, never. I would never use Lucia, but Lucia is a great tool for getting numbers from LinkedIn. So if you're looking for a number of a CEO, you can just get it from Lucia. I never did it in my life. I just heard about it to just correct my. And it is super dark, I would say. It's super fast and it just gets it done, but it doesn't work all the time because it's. I don't know where he takes his data from, like Lucia. I really don't know, but it's definitely not compliant or whatever. My last company we had it was compliant, but then it became uncompliant, and that's why I also know about Lucia, for example. And what else? How's it called? Snovio, Snow. It's like snow with a V, and yeah, it's for checking emails. And the one with the
Checking
fox,
emails
I have
is
it
in like
here.
how many times someone opened the email, or what does it check?
If it's the correct email, the
Ah,
scheme of the company is it the correct scheme, uh, and Hunter as well. You have Hunter.io as well. I think Hunter is a genius strike, 25 credits for free a month. Yeah, you don't pro trip for everyone out there. I used to be dumb. I used to go into a company and look for everyone's email address. Don't do that. Look for 3 email address and you understood the scheme of the company and that's it. You don't need to waste 25 points just to get the same job of the same
yeah.
scheme.
Yeah.
Maybe it helps someone out there. I don't think someone was as dumb as me I was, so it's all good. But it's a good tip for like saving your credits. Do that, and it's cheap as well. It's fast. you can find on Hunter and Snowview not only the email addresses, but you can also check if they are like bulletproof, and it gives you like a pretty good accuracy of like, is it actually working or not? So 80, 90 or 100%. Hunter.io, Snowvio, or whatever it's called. Yeah, these are all my tools for outreach, and internally we are using HubSpot. Sadly, I would rather use Salesforce, but we're using HubSpot because it's cheaper than Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Lightning, guys, if your boss doesn't want to afford it, it's damn expensive. I understand it. It's like, I don't know, 500, 600 bucks per license, and then you need to pay like 20,000 for integration. Salesforce is expensive, but it's good value. Expensive, and yeah, I would rather use. I used to have Salesforce Lightning, and I would never go to Salesforce normal. I was also working for a company who had Salesforce like the basic version. You would destroy your Mac if you would use it because it's so slow that it breaks your Mac. It's so slow that your Mac is like working on that slowness so hard that it's getting like really hot, and it is really not nice.
Alrighty.
All my tools.
Thank you, Django. What advice would you give someone who is starting as an account executive in the DACH market?
Be nice to your BDRs, man. For real, man. Like, be nice to your BDRs. I don't get like how account executives even can be shit to their BDRs. It's the best tip I can give to you is like, be nice to your colleagues, because they're gonna give you like a long-term investment in the company, because they're gonna help you when you don't expect it or when you need it. And at the same time, be good to your BDRs, because he's booking the meetings for you when you are sick or whatever. Appreciate that someone else is doing the shit job out there in the rain, once you can be sitting home and be sick for like a week. Like be like really, really appreciative about the jobs that are getting done without you having to control them. And it's really important to also let the leash go and be like, okay, the guys can do it, but appreciate it. So I think it's the most important thing, because I see so many AEs being such dicks about their BDRs, and I hate those guys because they don't deserve a BDR in my eyes. If you don't want to make your BDR successful, if you don't want to treat your BDR in the way where you can say like, after 2 years, this guy is gonna be an account executive and he's gonna smash it, and I'm proud of that. But if that's not the case, you are shit in what you're doing, because you're not just working for yourself and you're not working for an us or whatever. You're just waiting for a good lead, be like, yeah, nice. No, you can leave the room. Oh, come on, man. Say thank you. Invite him to a beer from here and then give him a nice lunch or whatever. Make him feel good about himself. Pat him on the shoulders. A pat on the shoulders is so important for me. A pat on the shoulders was important for me when I was a BDR as well. And I know for everyone it is important to have like a pat on the shoulder from time to time. And that's what we sales need, because we're also looking for that kind of confirmation that we did a good job. And I hate those A's. I really hate them.
I 100% agree. Being kind to your colleagues will get you far, especially marketing, customer success. As an account executive, I needed them all. Pre-sales, big time. Kindness will get you far. Kindness is the most attractive quality. My final question,
I agree.
Django, and I always ask my guests the same question. And I want to make sure that everyone who's listening to this episode knows exactly what they can do today. What are 3 things, tasks, exercises that they can do today to improve their account executive game?
I think if you can't get the internal learnings, you need to find someone outside. If you don't have like, if you're here and the company's here with like some stuff that they can teach you, then you're fucked. You need to find someone who's outside of that spare or whatever. We have a lot of people who can help you actually, like in our ecosystem with Helena. But you need to find someone who's out there, because you need to make your mistakes faster. You need to learn faster to outbeat the competition and everyone else. And if you don't get that training from like a good sales rep who knows what aces, appreciate, check, and go, who knows what the demo redefines, who knows how important the SDR is, who knows how important the close with all the stakeholders at the beginning is, because it doesn't make sense if you have all the stakeholders at the end. If you don't have them at the beginning in your race, they will give a shit about you at the end as well. So there are a lot of things that you need to look after, and I'm not the expert out there, definitely not. I think there are experts out there who can definitely give you value. I'm a guy who books regularly trainings from external people because of the fact I can learn so much more from different perspectives. And it's not always from SDRs or Germany. Most of it is actually, it just helps me personally because I can look after myself after 2 months, see my growth, see the company's growth, and can feel good about myself. To be like, oh yeah, I don't even have to pay for it because it's company money, like it's perfect.
So growing, looking outside, looking at your network, reach out to us, guys. Helena, Django, check out the Academy, check out Django's masterclass. I am linking that one as well. What are the other 2 options?
Sorry, the connection was bad for me. What are the other 2 options?
Like exercises or tasks that they can do.
I think one good exercise is to keep on cold calling. Don't stop cold calling. If you don't enjoy cold calling, don't become an AE. Like, rather kill yourself because you're gonna have a burnout, and then you want to try actually gonna kill yourself. That's what I see, and you don't want that. You want to have a job that you love. So try to exercise what's the most important crucial skill out there, and it's cold calling. And if you have some fun with it, perfect. If it's okay for you, that's also good. But if you don't like it, you should stop what you're doing because we have a 70% burnout rate in our industry. And that comes from people who don't really enjoy what they're doing. And you should really have fun when you're doing it and be emphasized. And that's a great exercise for you to really reconsider your career. Because if you don't have fun, maybe it's a company, but maybe it's not sales, maybe it's customer success. And you find yourself in a way better environment without pressure and whatever. So that would be one. Yeah,
I love that. I feel like that's 2 actually. It's cold call, keep the muscle going, and the second one is, or the third one is self-awareness. Understand that maybe sales isn't for you if it doesn't make you happy. Happiness and your mental health. I did a podcast episode this week with Caro about mental health and the importance of really looking after yourself, being self-aware, set the right priorities, talk to the people around you. So I love that. So first one, grow. Find a source for growth. Second one, keep on cold calling. Use the muscle. And I 100% agree, Django. I didn't do it for 6 months and I was rusty AF. It was nasty.
Rusty, yeah.
And the last one is, if you realize you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Don't do sales. Change your position. Look for a place where you're actually happy and just swallow your ego. Or if you love it, amazing. Please. Then go back to 1 and 2.
Exactly. It's you see. I think you saw people as well not being happy, right, Helena, in life and in sales. Did you find people actually not being happy where they're at, and you'd be like, "This isn't for you, brother, sister. Yeah. You gotta move to CSM or marketing because you already see it in that person." Do you see that?
Yeah, 100%. It's sad. It's very, very sad. It's a waste of potential because they have potential at different places. They can give more value at different places. Django, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. I laughed a lot. I teared up laughing.
Yeah, so
nice. Thank you so much for your insights. Guys, if you want to reach out to Django, if you want to reach out to me, feedback or questions, I'll leave his LinkedIn link profile in the notes, his masterclass as well. It was really, really eye-opening of how you can actually process and frame a product demo in DACH. I thought it was really, really good. I definitely took things away, Django. So thank you so much for that. And I am excited to see you in the next episode.